So this is my studio where I've been an oil painter for about 8 years. My name's Sarah Shaw and I exhibit in Brighton and London, further afield. Why here? Because I love it. It's not everybody's cup of tea. It's pretty shambolic and falling down, as you can see, but it's a place where you can quite happily splash paint around, and no, it suits me and it suits my work. It's also reasonably priced as well, which is obviously important. But yeah, the vibe of the place is very important. This is an old fire station. It's got character and history, and it's got a real great history of artists that have worked here. You know, selling painting, selling work is always, it's a movable feast. You can't always rely on it. And having somewhere which is affordable is essential for artists. So yeah, I think it's becoming increasingly difficult.
What do you think about the plans to redevelop this studio?
Well, you know, this has become a second home to me, so it's obviously pretty disappointing. But, you know, the only thing that stays the same is change in a way.
So once this place goes, to be honest, I don't know where most of the people would go to, particularly in town, in Brighton Hove, because it's so expensive. So it's a sort of a bit of a haven for us, really.
I think it's a real shame. I think the more artist studios there are in Brighton and Hove, the better. I know there used to be a lot more. I've got friends who lived in Brighton for a long time, and they said that basically all of Hove, all of the muses in Hove used to be kind of artists and makers and everything, and a lot of those have gone now.
I think it's always a shame when places like that close down, because it's very rare that they'll go back to that sort of use again.
You know, when you go to London, there's every other road's got a muse, innit? You know, there's muses everywhere. But for Brighton, they've all been built over this, that and the other. So to have somewhere like this that's still got a few, you know, and like the artists that took them over and that sort of stuff, you know, I mean, it's good.
But then all it seems to do is sort of push house prices up, etc. It makes it pretty much impossible for the likes of me to sort of buy something around here. And I guess it pushes the rents up as well. It's a great place to live because you've got the diversity. So, but once the diversity of places like the art studios, etc., go, then it's not such a great place to live.
I guess it's inevitable. Brighton's a nice place to live. People want to move here. They bring money. People go, oh, that's a nice arty area to live in. Let's move there. And then the artists can't afford to live there anymore.
I think it would change the whole makeup of the town. The council have always presented it as an arts and crafts town. It's quite unique, is the word they quite often use.
Anyone who has previously been in an area will always object to gentrification, but anyone moving into an area will always like gentrification. Artists can only ever go where it's cheap.
They are very, very old. They played a major part in the history of Brighton. And I think at the end of the day, arts and crafts people have to work from somewhere.
You know, good things and bad things are always going to happen with gentrification. It's only ever bad, I think, when culture and community fully move out and people cannot afford to have their spaces.
I hate it. I mean, this is great architecture and it's been around for quite a long time. And I can't imagine how they can gentrify it and keep it in keeping with its current state.
You know, like Brighton's famous for the North Lanes. You know, no one comes to Brighton for the shopping centre, they come for the North Lanes. Well, an area the size of the North Lanes got demolished to build a shopping centre in the 70s, and then they rebuilt that shopping centre in 2000. So it didn't last long and they rebuilt it again. Whereas, look, 200 years, still here.
Brighton is a hub of creativity, and it has this reputation as being this incredible place where people can come and be creative. And in many ways, you know, the artists and the creators are being driven out of the city because they can't afford the rents, and these places are becoming like developed, overdeveloped, and we're losing this sort of essence of what Brighton is, or should be.
Therefore, we will all eventually disappear, I think, very soon as well.